All right, guys. So here we are in our manager comparison video series. We're going to move on to Rich versus Jared, the matchup none of you knew you wanted to hear about, but now you're going to hear about it. And it's going to make your day. So we're going to start with we're doing the same four categories. Might be a tiebreaker at the end. We'll see how it plays out. If there's a tiebreaker comes down to who I believe is physically stronger in the gym, if it gets to that point. Let's start with trash talk. No point in beating around the bush here. You're both really bad at it, but let's start with Jared. Jared is a lot like Ben Roethlisberger here. He's some boom, mostly bust. He spent the offseason attempting to sharpen his trash talking skills by going toe-to-toe with Steve, but here's a pro tip for you. You can't sharpen a knife with another dull knife. The truth is Steve is intensely dull with the same jokes over and over and over again. So you're really not getting any better at the trash talk by going at Steve. I mean, honestly, you can have a trash talk with Steve with just you in the mirror. You already know what he's going to say, so you don't really need him to be a part of it. That being said, Jared does on occasion bring us some golden nuggets of fantasy trash talk, so that merits some consideration here. On to Rich. Rich started out talking trash in the group chat, but he has since gone the way of Aaron Rodgers' collarbone. He's broken. He's finished. We haven't heard much from Rich since the worst trash talk in the history of the league, the infamous Steve, I think you have to buy pizza for everyone at the draft trash talk. That was just bad on so many levels that I cannot in good conscience award you the point here. So Jared strikes first. Don't get used to that. That's not how this season's going to go. Jared gets the first point in trash talk. Jared 1, Rich 0. On to drafting ability. So let's switch it up and start with Rich here. And this is just what I know of Rich from past fantasy drafts and what I know of him personally. He's extremely analytical. So you can bet your bottom dollar Rich will have done his research heading into this draft. The issue is where's he getting that research? I think he's reading such sites as ESPN and Yahoo for his research, listening to guys like Matthew No Guts Berry and Brad Can't Predict Anything Evans. Brad Evans may be the only person I dislike more than Mike Evans as far as a person named Evans from a fantasy football perspective. So anyway, Rich is going to wind up following the pre-ranks for the most part because he's going to have too much analysis in his head. He's going to be too far in his head. He's not going to have his guys that he likes like a lot of us do. He's just going to pretty much follow the pre-rankings, which is a very boring strategy and a great way to draft a 6th or 7th place team. Just ask our resident team auto pick, Tony Jr. He'll let you know all about drafting a mediocre team just by following the pre-ranks. That's what he does every season. Jared is a wild card at the draft. You know he loves the Patriots, so you can hardly fault him for liking Brady and liking Gronkowski. They do provide tons of fantasy goodness. However, it's not the Patriots that he drafts that sinks him every season. It's the Dolphins he drafts that sinks him every season. I'm going to say this one more time. You can take a flyer on Kenyon Drake if you want to. That's fine. Beyond that, do not draft a Dolphin. No, you cannot have Devontae Parker in the 10th round. Don't take him. He's not worth rostering. There's no other Dolphin other than Kenyon Drake worth rostering. That offense is horrible. Your team's horrible, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You might as well step up and just jump on the mighty Bears bandwagon because we're going to surprise some people this year. So all these things considered, I'm going to give the slight edge to Rich here just because I think he's even the pre-ranks do better than Jared. I mean, how could I in good conscience give Jared the nod here when he's finished second to last or last for what seems like forever? So we're even up 1-1. Now on to trading ability. Back to Jared, who is as much a wild card in trading as he is in drafting. I do give Jared a lot of credit for having the guts to make huge deals. He's not afraid to trade superstars for other superstars. But I will say, you know, at the same time, we have to give him credit for pulling the trigger on being willing to trade guys like Gronk and Brady. You also have to fault the guy for trading away Gronk and Brady. Just what it is. He eventually traded Brady and Gronk to the team that won the Super Bowl last year. So, you know, that's not exactly a win, but Jared has had his successes in the trade market and his failures, a bit of a mixed bag. Rich, who knows what he's going to do in the trade market? I mean, with only 50 roster moves, it's almost impossible to not make trades. You kind of have to make trades. One of the reasons we made that roster move limit was to foster more trading in the league. We don't know what Rich is going to do here. I have to admit, I am concerned that Rich could potentially be bullied into making bad deals. I just have a quick piece of advice for you, Rich, here. Always remember in this league that you are swimming with sharks. And I'm speaking of myself as well. And we will have no qualms with eating your chances of fantasy success like a fat, lazy walrus that floated too far out to sea. We will do it. I've got to award this point to Jared just because Rich is unknown. So Jared 2, Rich 1. Now, lastly, waiver wire and move management. No need to waste time here. Jared is potentially the worst in the history of the league at managing his moves. Since we went to the 50 move limit, Jared constantly wastes moves on kickers, on Dolphins. I mean, the reason he had to trade me Gronk last year is because he didn't have any moves. He had to trade me for a tight end. So he traded me Gronk for Kelsey. So it's I got to give the advantage to Rich. Rich is an unknown here. But, I mean, there's a reason why Jared finishes in last every year. It's mostly move management. So we're tied up 2-2. So I've got to go the tiebreaker, which is who's stronger in the gym, which is quite obviously Rich. I mean, Rich has been working out. You haven't, Jared. You know, you've been slacking. Rich has got those guns going, man. He's a beast. So I'm going to give the nod to Rich here. Rich wins 3-2, and that caps off our second manager comparison video. I'm going to hit you guys with another one on Wednesday. Haven't decided which of the two of you I'm going to go after on Wednesday, but I will let you know. So see you Wednesday, and sorry about your luck, Jared. You lose in this just like you did in fantasy last year and the year before that and the year before that. Later.